Greetings everybody, welcome to Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux coverage here on G4G. I'm Napalm Dawn, and today we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about the plan for Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux going forward, and this is going to be a plan that will take you from today, which is June 7th, and it will take you all the way until when the game releases in its final form. And it'll cover some steps along the way that'll talk about when it goes from alpha into beta and when the final release is. However, before we get to that, I have two pieces of absolutely wonderful news. And the first one is a big one. So the Goofy Statue Fund, which I've covered on the channel somewhat recently, is now up to $215. At the time of the last video, I was originally not seeing activity in the account, and I found out that's because PayPal wanted me to confirm the email address before everything got going. Now, everybody's money had been sitting there waiting. It just wasn't visible to me, so I would check, and I would check, and I would check, and I'm like, where is all the donations? And I would check, and nothing would be there. And I did a video on it. It was like, hey guys, like, let's give back to Goofy in a way that we're allowed to do it. You know, people have wanted to pay money for a long time, but he can't accept it. How are we going to give it back to him? So finally, now that I discovered that today, because I actually went to the mail account that's tied to the PayPal account, and I saw all these donations, I went, oh, okay, I get it. So the reason why everything started tonight with finding out about the donations is in the comments of a recent video, somebody who will remain nameless, but you can go to the video and find out the name, went ahead and donated $150, which was huge. So I went into the account and I didn't see it. I was about ready to reply like, hey, I can understand maybe it's holding off, but where is it? Are you sure you did it? So I donated 10, and I didn't see my own donation. I went, okay, something's up. So I went to the mail account tied to it, and that's where I saw all the donations, and PayPal's like, yo dude, go verify. So here it is, guys. I've said the whole way through I'm going to be super transparent on this. There are two other people adminning this fund as a check and balance so that I don't make off with your money. Here it is. You can see right here on the screen with the 150, we're now up above 200. It's about $215. I verified the account to get an international donation that was either Greek or Russian. I'm sorry, it looked Cyrillic, but I don't know which one of the two. It's this one for the 448. So there it is. The Goofy Fund has reached its lowest possible level in which we would start the statue process. So I've contacted the person who does the statue, and I've let them know that we've reached 210, which is, I would say, a good $25 to $50 over the bare minimum. So it looks like we are going to start the process of getting the statue made for Goofy. And if I remember correctly, it may have been Gambit that I think he was going for, or potentially Spider-Man. It may have been Spider-Man. I'm looking through my PMs with the guys. So Giles Miguel is the person who is doing it. He's been alerted. There is a public post in the Facebook group that we have raised well above the minimum now. So we're looking to go ahead and get this going. So what's on the screen is a very old team of mine called Team Turd, which was back when I was in like the level 160. Let's see if I can figure out what PvP season this is. So it looks like this was around Christmas. That's the Arcade Spec Ops going on over there, because there's Arcade as a group boss. So maybe this was the Christmas of Doom. Let's see when this video was. January 15th of 2014. So I do believe this was the Doom Christmas over here. And this made use of Uncanny Cyclops with his Don't Die on Me, and all flanked, going off of Cyclops, going into Sabretooth over there. That's the custom only for killing. I think that's the cut. So that's my void generator and the power cell, which I really loved around that time. And the scroll of Angelob, or the Baloney scroll, or the scroll of Uncle Bob, depending upon what your phrasing was. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be the custom only for killing. I wish my old self would mouse over it and give me the frickin' tooltip. And I don't. Okay. So I was in Diamond, and this is somewhere around when I started wanting to break out of Diamond. So the season before the arcade Spec Ops, I know I was gold because, and I'm going to say it for the 50th time, the diamond weapon in that season was the Beyond Corp can opener. And I knew at the time, I was like, this weapon is here for a reason. It's going to be useful. I know it is. And I was pushing, and I didn't manage to get it. And what happened was the next Spec Ops featured the robot versions of several characters like Robo Cage and Robo Fist and Robo Spiral, and all of that. And you know, the thing had the mechanical stress, and so yeah, I was definitely quite upset that I didn't wind up getting that weapon. So yeah, that's the custom only for killing. It's the one that does like Emma's psychic tap. And still, oh, season 13, there it is, down in the lower right. It was PvP season 13. So I've done 375 attacks, and it's funny. Like, I'm moving my mouse out of the way to get the tooltip to go away because that's how much muscle memory is left from the game. So I was in Diamond in the top 3 or 4% over here, and yep, there it is, the custom only for killing with mental anguish and the psychic tap. So if you were unfamiliar with the power cell and the void generator, it is the one that puts up the shield that prevents debuffs, and if somebody attacks you when the shield is up, they lose a buff. So between the scroll and then the rounds in which I could do the power cell and the void generator, I kept my team fairly clean, and then the custom only for killing was basically there as to be my weapon that I could use at every single round over there. So I'm actually going to get into combat over here. God, Rescue, man, I remember Rescue, and that this is when Rescue was a super twat. And see, there it is. There's a Mystic Shroud. There's her own shielding. Immediately combat awareness from the enemy Cyclops. And I think that was a triple stun off of that. There's get back in the fight for the morale boost, which if you don't oh god, this fight is annoying me, and I'm not even playing it. Like, I'm watching this fight and I'm getting angry at it because that's just how shit went in this season. I don't know if Omega Sentinel was out yet, but we're dealing with regular Cyclops over there and Rescue, which is an interesting team. Considering they have a blaster agent and the war axe, I'm actually going to predict that I could very well lose this fight. I don't honestly know if I will or not. Because there's... God, look at those shields. And there's a get back in the fight from the enemy Cyclops. Off balance, morale boost on Rescue, and the enemy has a fucking scroll. Oh man. I had the Savon Sphere. That was one that, I think that was the weapon from the Angel season where everybody got all the rewards. Alright, that wasn't flanked. So here's my time to start getting stuff on. I'm generalized, so I'm not going to get the extra turn off of the blaster agent. God, look at those shields. Oh, well, at least she's flanked, which is good for Sabretooth. Um, Man, that was a mighty hit. That was a mighty hit from Rescue on my agent, but apparently I wasn't running fast combat yet. It's just like slow-mo pulling teeth over here. Friggin' Sabretooth gets dodged on. Yeah, that generalized on the Savon Sphere. Hopefully my smart... Okay, so... okay. Yep, that's good. It's a good play there. And see, this is before quick actions and free actions had their whole changes, because that's two quick actions that are going off over here. She's flanked, so I'm going to fire the Void Generator, and I should follow it up with a Fist. So here's my turn to do shields. I mean, not the most amount of damage in the world over there on Rescue, but it was sizable. And now it's my turn to be shielded. So Cyclops isn't generalized anymore, which is why he's doing what he's doing. He's going to get the extra turn. And now he should fist the enemy agent. If my past self was smart. Yeah, okay, good. Good to know I wasn't stupid way back then. Alright, cool. I did exactly what I was supposed to do over there. So, let's go ahead and talk about the timeline. So Goofy has released the timeline. And as you can see here on June 8th, this is when Alpha 5 is going to be dropping. So when Alpha 5 drops, I will do a video on it. I will put a link up to the download, and I will install it on video, and I'll start playing it. So Alpha 5, there's definitely been a lot of hype for this one, and it's the way Goofy has had his real life going and being busy, I think he's kind of hit a perfect amount of teaser for everybody. It's not so short to 4 that we're sort of overwhelmed, like, oh, it was 4 and now it was 5, but it wasn't so long that people are like, come on, dude. I feel like he's hitting it at the right spot between hyping you out and psyching you up to get it, but not going too long that you're getting pissed off at it. Before I come back to the timeline, though, so I said there were several positive things I want to talk about in this video. I'm seeing over here the recent group photos, and I wanted to share this with you guys. So after I had done the last video saying, hey, the project needs some help. What we really need now is we need a lot of graphic artists. We need people who are doing active work. Several people did a tremendous amount of work and found us deviant artists who had done work relatively related to the game back when the game was live, but a lot of it had gone defunct, and it was hard getting in touch with some of these people, and some of them said, you can use my old stuff and I'm not doing stuff anymore. So there was progress, but it wasn't truly the light of the tunnel, but it was at the end of the tunnel, but there were some breadcrumbs leading to it. And then everything kind of exploded, and a bunch of people started coming into the group, and I'm like, I can do art, and I modify art. And so this is Pimtron over here, as Marvel Future Fight calls him, but it's called, he's got it as Ultron Pym. But if you want to see what he's like, Marvel Future Fight's got him, and he's actually not too bad. I was using Pimtron just the other night for, I think, Universal Villain, and it was fun. This is Lightspeed Quicksilver, Marvel Tron variant, which I think it's interesting. I always like the remake of Tron. This is the endgame version of Doctor Strange that Saeed Salam was doing. So he basically drew his robes from the movie and added in the head of the sprite of the game version and the pose. So and this is what is perfectly fine for the artist to do for this, in that these are the kind of modifications that are somewhat easy to do because it's not completely from scratch and it uses existing works but still modifies it and keeps it in a general theme. So you can definitely remember, like, that's Doctor Strange from the game very clearly, but it's his movie robes, and this is perfect. And if you remember correctly, like, you go back to the days of Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat basically should have been called Palette Combat 2. I mean, you had Noob Saibot, you had Smoke, you had Sub-Zero, you had Reptile, you had Scorpion, who were all just palette swaps of a model. Then you had Sector and Cyrax, who were palette swaps of a model. So even if we do something, so there was like a picture of Minerva that was posted here in the group, and some people said it does look a little creepy, but so immediately you're going to look at this and go, oh, that's Captain Marvel. But then you see the coloration of the outfit and the kind of bluish face, and yeah, maybe a little bit around the teeth is creepy, but boom, there's using an existing asset, changing it slightly, and now we have Minerva that if we ever did a Spec Ops around the Captain Marvel movie or something like that, that would count. Like, everybody would be happy if that was the Minerva we got in the game, because let's be honest, I think a lot of people just want the game back. But it's a good thing that we've got this run of artists that have been in the group lately, because they've been doing tremendous work. Here's a Thunderbolt variant of Agent Venom, which of course was the game variation with some of the coloration changed over there. There's the Doctor Strange one that we're talking about. There's Pimtron. This is the Doctor Strange as it was being produced. So there's his robes from the movie and everything. Danny Ford working on recoloring six-pack Iron Man, or abs Iron Man, into Silver Centurion, which is a skin that I very much remember from Marvel Heroes. I would love to have this costume of Spiral in the game, because when I think of Spiral, this is what I think of, and that's the Spiral from the Marvel vs. Capcom games. And when Spiral showed up in the game and I saw her, I was like, is that really Spiral? Where's the fucking fur boots? And that was the one thing I fixated on. I was like, I want fur boot Spiral. So there it is. Of course, that's classic Yondu when he was a bowman, when he was Yondu Hanzo. Of course, the original Warriors 3. And what we got was pretty close to this. Volstagg, I'm happy with the game's Volstagg, because that's just goofy. I mean, that's just a fat ass and a weird hat. So Volstagg, when we got him in game, I liked his look a little bit better. Igor's work modifying Thane into Phoenix Force Thane. And we've got some art in progress here. An endgame Black Widow. So the Avengers Alliance 2 version of Black Widow was used as the base, and it got changed slightly. An endgame Rocket Raccoon. So we have a lot of people doing some really, really good artwork now. And I've always been honest when I've done these videos, is that is one of the things that I've been the most scared for on the project. I mean, I've had complete faith in Goofy. He had a small period around Christmas where he disappeared with some family stuff, but I think everybody believed at that point, just like Santa Claus, we all believed like he was going to come back, and we weren't looking at Saviors in the Multiverse again. And sure enough, he did. He's like, hey guys, back. Sorry, I had to go offline for the holidays and, do family stuff. So, unlike Gaming Life Beginner, who just never really, we were so hungry for even a breadcrumb from Gaming Life Beginner, and we never got it, and it bothered the community. It bothered me more than I let on in my videos, because I've been the cheerleader of the project the whole time, And I felt that if I started not to believe, it would spread like herpes to the people watching the videos, and they're like, Napalm's not even believing it anymore. And I didn't want people to lose faith in the project. And what I was scared of is if they lost faith in the project, they would distance themselves with the information on it. And if they did, they wouldn't come back to watch videos when something like what Goofy did happened. So if they're like, man, I just don't believe this gaming life beginner. He's stealing Wi-Fi from his neighbors. He's disappeared. It's been 3 months. He's not going to make his deadlines. Fuck this. This is obviously a flim-flam sham the whole way through. I've been bamboozled. Forget this. And if they never came back to my channel, they wouldn't know where we are right now, which is about ready to get Alpha 5. So here at the end of July, see this one that says July 27th mission progression? This is when the game is going to officially get called a beta. So right here in this border of July, August is when we leave the alpha stage and we get into what's called the beta stage. What's going to mark a big thing over here at the beta is that you're going to start recruiting heroes in the way that you would have when the game was live. So he's going to build out that structure. And then throughout August, he's going to work on tasks, levelings, these Spec Ops ISOs, more work on recruiting here, PV versus AI, group bosses, lockboxes, the simulator, and September 30th, the 3-year anniversary of the game dying, is when Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux is going to make its full release and come out of alpha and beta and go into full mode. So if you've had tiers stored up for this project and you've been waiting for that moment to have them, if downloading the alphas along the way isn't what got you to that point, this right here, 9/30, September 30, this is your cry point right here. This is where you're going to get emotional and choked up, or maybe you're going to get it now, knowing that the end of this summer, and for some people, the end of that first month of school, I can imagine a lot of people who maybe played this in like junior high and everything and are now high schoolers going, oh my god, this is going to make that first shitty month of school so amazing. Sorry, year-round track people, that's not a thing for my era or generation. I'm not used to year-round track, so for year-round track, sorry. I've got schools around me that do it. It's weird for me. I don't think I would ever subject my kid to it if I had a kid, because, yeah, sure, they get like, what, 2-3 months off? Not months, 2-3 weeks at a clip sometimes from major vacations, but going to school in the summer, that just seems wrong. Like, summers are about fun and outside and sprinklers and water gun fights and going on trips and theme parks and amusement parks and fun, not being inside sweating your damn balls off in a class. So, yeah, sorry, year-round schoolers. But anyway, here's the progression. When everybody asks, like, when's coming, what's the releases, like, all those questions that I always get, this is the answer right here. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that all of those ones where you see a month and a day, there's going to be another alpha or a beta. There may be small patches. He may, say, hey, Alpha 5 is right here on the 8th, but then on the 29th, he'll do Alpha 6. You may not necessarily get all of these incremental ones. This is his task sheet. So if you're a developer, or if you've been in a work environment where you've got goals and tasks, or you have, for your stupid fucking review that you do at your job, like, here's the goals, you want to hit these every month, and we're going to talk about this on your review, blah, 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 jack off. That's what this is. Now, when he's going to release alphas on this, I don't know. And I don't know if maybe he'll release Alpha 6 on the 29th and then give you guys a small patch on the 13th. That's all up to Goofy, but know that the light at the end of your tunnel is 9:30. So to the community, to the people who come and watch the videos, that go to Discord, that go to Facebook, uh, a huge thank you to you guys, because recently there's just, with the artists coming in and a lot of people stepping up and saying, hey, I can do graphics, and I'm here, I'm active, I'm not um, somebody who did this years ago and just used my work, but I'm not doing any active stuff. Having active artists, I think, is one of the last cogs in the wheel, other than maybe animators. I still am not exactly too sure if there are people who can do the animations, but I also wanted to highlight here on Discord that Goofy has recently called out. I want to make sure I get his name perfectly correct over here. He has a major helper now in coding, which is taking a lot of work off of him, and that's Sadao. God, I hope I said that right. So Sadao has been helping Goofy on the code, so people have been asking about that lately. They're like, is there anybody helping Goofy do like the core of it and everything? And the answer is yes. And Goofy has stated a heavy thank you for him today, and the community's been recognizing him throughout the day for helping Goofy, because there is a part of me that feels for Goofy very much, because he's doing so much of the meat of this, and it's very easy to say it's a little bit of a thankless job, but that's not really true when it comes to Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux' community. And wow, Rescue's got a hard-on for my Sabretooth. Good lord, she's pretty much spent the entire fight just banging away on him. But anyway, the reason why I can't say this is a thankless job for Goofy is because people have been good. People have been treating the whole project with positivity. Nobody's slamming their tankards on the table going, more. When's the next one? When's the next one? Everybody's been pretty calm and even-keeled and chillax about the whole thing. Nobody's, banging away at Goofy's door going, where's the next alpha? I want to do it. They've been accessible the whole way through. You just go to my old videos to get 4 or 3 or anything like that. Progress. He's talked about progress the whole way through. I bring it to you guys as soon as I find out about it. The community has generally not shit on anybody throughout all of this. Now, there's minor drama here and there. There's a few people who are trying to steal the work done on the project and claim it for themselves. That didn't go very far, believe me. There was somebody in the group earlier in the week who was not particularly up on celebrating Pride Month, and the community policed itself. Other than that, things have been really good. And overall, to the general public of people who want to play the game and aren't maybe necessarily seeing behind the scenes, it's been very positive. And this recent burst of artists and graphics related people, I think, have breathed a tremendous amount of light and life into the project here, as it really kind of turns, I think, the final corner. If this is a 4x100 from your high school track, I feel like we're just turning into that final turn, and now is not a time where we want to sprint to the finish. I'm sure Goofy knows that he's going to do what it takes to make quality work. It looks like Sabretooth is going to put this battle away and change my mind from I'm probably going to lose this to, hey, all of a sudden this isn't too bad. I don't have any debuffs to clear, so it would be stupid to use the SOA. However, I could use it to clear his buffs, but instead I'm just going to Psychic Tap him. Nice. Okay. Cool. He's going to be bleeding now. He's got pain. It's weird to see that black bordered attacker going on there, because I don't know that the black color for buffs lasted particularly long. I think, if I remember correctly, black colored buffs or a debuff eventually got changed into what we called the bordered ones, which denoted the unremovables. I wonder if the mental anguish will kill him. There it is. So, okay, apparently I pulled that victory out of my ass. And God, I'm sorry that it's tedious to watch such a slow, the non-speeded up combat. I saw my avatar up there, which was the mantis shrimp from a while ago. If you've never seen the cartoon about why the mantis shrimp are assholes, I suggest you go out and take a look at it. It's really funny. But, yeah, so that's what we've got in this video. Coming up, I'm going to be going over a Marvel Strike Force tier list. We're also going to be taking a look at a couple of other things. We'll have Alpha 5 on the day that it releases. Again, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and install it on the video so that people see the install process. Good news, Mac users. Goofy's been saying that he thinks this next version isn't going to prompt for air, so you shouldn't have to run an emulator or have any issues with it, so it should come back for Mac people. God, you mobile people, like, ooh, there it is. There's Rescue and Omega, and there's that fucking Adeline set. Does that not bring back memories right there? Seeing somebody probably in a 3 or 4 piece of the Adeline set. This one might be a slog of a nightmare over here. So my agent's going first, and he's going to get the Void Shield. Well, that's the good thing about Omega Sentinel, is she started off as a scrapper, and it's a scrapper agent too, so my agent's maybe going to have a little bit of a field day on this one. Those white trenches. I feel like the white trenches weren't that popular for the longest period of time. I feel like we moved past the white trenches fairly quickly, but, I might be wrong. And ow! Damn, Faded Glory just fisted my Cyclops right in the face. So we start with Berserker. They don't have a Mystic Shroud, but they have that. See, look, 70% chance to remove a harmful status effect. That was the unnerfed rescue right there. That Panacea response, that was such a pain in the ass for everybody, and that's where she took that nerf. And there goes that black attacker again. So she switched to Bruiser. So she's burning the heal early. That might be frustrating to see, but you have to know that at least she burned it when they weren't really actually cleaning anything. And it looks like my Void Shield's gonna stop the poison from the darts. I mean, Rescue and Omega Sentinel, they weren't that much damage, even combined. It's just the amount of time that they make every battle, but this team's got a chance of killing one target fairly quickly if I get the focus on them. And look, Rescue's got a hard-on for Sabretooth again. Fortunately, he countered on that one, which is good. So now she's got Bleeding and Pain and is going to get an extra turn with Morale Boost. And here comes the crappy status reset. But Sabretooth still has 11 buffs. So now they're going to lose their shield. And I'm probably going to call the video in just a moment. I want to see what I do with the... Yep. And it's also weird seeing the effects pop up from the ISOs. I really don't remember that at the end of the game. But then again, I was playing the game on fast mode then. But pretty decent. Alright guys, so there you go. There's the wrap up of the video over here. Look for Alpha 5 this weekend. I will do a video as soon as I get my hands on it. I'm very happy to announce that the Goofy fund for the statue was successful, and I've contacted the statue creator and told him, like, alright, we can get moving on this. So I think he should definitely have enough time to have it done by the game's release. And maybe we can get Goofy with a picture holding the statue. I mean, even if it isn't Goofy's face, if he's shy about it, just maybe like a hand shot of him holding the finished product, I think would be good. And yeah, the community's well aware of how that fund is going. So full transparency over there. I'm not making off like a Kickstarter with somebody's money where everybody gives them $2,000 for a game and then, they just, or $10,000 for a game and they just take off with it. Um, and yeah, thank you very much for the artists that have joined the project recently. Your skills were solely needed. Again, another shout out to the writers groups. They're continuing to do good work. I've been working on one on the side a little bit. It's not ready for submission yet, but I know my general plot, I know my hero, and I know my gear set so far, and some other drops. I have some boss ideas for, the fights. I haven't written a whole lot of dialogue or the heroic battles yet. I know some of the deploys and some of the dialogue, but yeah, I'm just working on it while I can. It's been a little tough, but anyway, that's it, folks. Thanks for checking out the video, and let's get some Alpha 5 hype going on for this weekend. See you, everybody.